time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation. Whether you're a new cigar enthusiast or a cigar aficionado, we have something for everyone, bringing you the best interviews, cigar reviews, and weekly giveaways. So grab yourself a cigar.
It's time to light 'em up.
Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We got Bryant Falconer, co-host, in the studio. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm doing good.
So I was thinking, last week you said, let's not use extraordinaire. Isn't that what you said?
I may have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You said I'm too humble.
Oh, yeah, I am.
You said give me
I'm letting
something
that
a
go.
little smaller.
A little smaller.
And
But
so
not
I came
derogatory.
up with, well, see, I've been working on it all week, and I came up with something.
Give you a minute, you can come up with something derogatory. Give you a whole week.
We might not be friends.
Thank you. Give you a whole week. Yeah.
All right, I'll come up with something else.
Thank you.
I'm not even going to say this one.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that.
You know what? I love you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I love you too, man.
So-
but if you'd have said what you thought you was going to say.
I was like, hey, I came up with something. Anyway, hey, so
Ian.
tell everybody what you're smoking. We had a great guy swing by the leaf, Greg, and surprised us both.
He blessed me with an Andalusian bull.
And
I'm puffing as we speak.
and let me tell you something about that cigar. I think it's one of the most beautiful cigars on the market.
Look at it.
I mean, when you look at the wrapper,
Everything about it,
Vitola, the band, it all comes together. Now, I will say that it's a crapshoot for me if they've been good or not.
This one is starting off like
No.
a track star.
Look at it. Look at the burn.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had them before where they blow up like someone stuck the bomb in the end.
Groucho.
Yeah. So, and if my experience has been 50-50, that's the good one.
This is a good one. Starting off good. I got you, bro. I got you. But I'm definitely enjoying it. It is an Andalusian right now, and I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
What you smoking, man?
I'm smoking a Tabanero. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
I'll have a picture of it in the screen so people can see what it actually is. But it's spelled like Tabanero. Anyway, I'm loving it, dude. This one, I thought this was the Maduro, but it's not. So I'm assuming that this is the Habano.
Oh.
But anyway, it's a small little boutique company out of Tampa, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And they were kind enough to send me a few cigars.
I hear you.
And it's been, dude, they have been.
That's the good part about it. You enjoy them. You don't want a gift that's like, okay.
Well, I mean, a lot of people send us cigars, and sometimes they're not so good.
Yeah.
I mean, because, you have a lot of good cigar makers out there.
True.
But you also have a ton of people slinging crap.
Yeah, because they're just trying to be a part of.
Well,
they don't understand the culture that goes with it. And when you're putting out a stick, you want it to be above par.
If I'm going to put my name on it,
it's got to be above par.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm not doing it.
I'm shooting for eagles,
and I want them rare.
Thank you. Nice one.
You
nice
like
one.
Yeah. So tell everybody what we're drinking tonight.
I am drinking the Early Times. Which one is it, Larry?
Bottle and Bond.
Bottle and Bond.
That's actually my first
Bottle
time
and
to try
Bond.
this. And here's the bottle here.
The bottle.
I've been seeing it everywhere. Like, this is a must try.
So far?
And I haven't been able to find it, but Larry picked it up on the way in. Here you go, sir. Thank you, Larry.
That's the super bartender in them.
Yeah. And, dude, the price point is crazy. It's like $26, $27.
Whoa.
And so that's one of the reasons I've been looking for it, because I've heard so many good things about it. And I was like, shoot, for that price point,
this is a great taste
I'll
for
have
that
a couple.
price. Yeah.
Right.
This is a great taste for that price point.
So thank you for Larry for bringing that to us, because it's been on my radar. And it's, you know what? A Bottle and Bond, it's not real hot.
No, it isn't.
It's got a lot of flavor.
I'm enjoying it. It's like a floral hit. You can smell the caramel off the top.
the caramel
is off
is
the
like
top.
swimming around in your mouth, throwing up balls of sand. I'm not sand, salt.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, salted
He said
caramel.
throwing up balls of sand.
That's like, I don't know where that came from.
Cottonmouth.
Have another drink.
Yes, sir. But Jay also blessed us with,
Oh, the balconies.
and this is the
dawn.
not
That's
the dusk. The
100
dawn.
and you know what? Jay let me have a little bit of that the other day at the Leaf, and
Is that why it's looking like this? That's your little bit.
but it's really good.
Oh, I thought you see. I really did that.
Well,
Yeah, I got you.
So anyway, though, no, I was real surprised because I've never really been a big fan of the balconies, but for a gift, my wife went to a wedding, and for like a thank you gift they give out. They gave everyone the blue bottles of balconies. I think it's called Baby Blue.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is right there. Anyway, I had that earlier today. Dude, and that was phenomenal.
It
So
was?
maybe I got to take back my early judgment on balconies.
Here we go again. When Rob revisits something,
It's usually really good.
it's usually better the second go around.
Well, and I was talking about, and just so you guys know, coming up later in the show, we do have Lauren
Yes.
from Micallef Cigars, and she is a bourbon drinker, a beer drinker, wine drinker, and she's a tobacconist. And so she has like a lot of knowledge, but that was something that we were talking about for everyone. If you smoke a cigar once and you turn away from it, revisit it later on.
Give it a little bit of time and revisit it.
Right.
And then you may taste and experience something totally different from the first time.
Right.
And then you're like, wait a minute, this is different. And then you look at it like, is this the same stick? Yeah, it's the same stick. It's just a different experience this time.
Yeah, so don't smoke a cigar and go, oh, I don't like that.
And never go back.
And never go back to it because you may be missing out. Because I'll tell you what, there's been several sticks that I've gone back to that have turned into my, oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had to say that about the Kentucky Fried Curd.
Really?
Because you remember, I was like, nope, never again.
Right. You didn't like it.
I went back. I was like, humble pie.
Well, you know, for me, and you know, that cigar is a very limited amount of smoking.
Yeah.
I would never smoke more than one of those probably in a week. But every now and then, man,
It's something-
it scratches the itch.
Yes, it scratches the itch.
It does, man. It's like, dude, and which is a surprise because I don't like infused cigars.
No.
And it kind of has that infused feel with it because of the fire cured. It's not infused.
It's not.
Or I guess you could say it's naturally infused.
That's the difference. It's naturally infused.
I mean, because that's just the way the tobacco is
versus-
after it's been fire cured.
versus those flavors.
Injections, right.
He said injections.
So,
Wrong hole.
But anyway, let's talk about our sponsors for a minute. We've
Why
got,
not, man?
we've got great sponsors.
Yes.
But right out of the gate, we have the Leaf. And the Leaf is the shop that takes care of us, gives us a place to go.
Yes.
And it's not just a shop where you walk in and get a cigar. It's where you walk in and see family.
And take a seat.
And take a seat and enjoy and relax. I mean, we just had a memorial service Saturday in the back
Yeah.
for one of the all-time greats.
Brother Ed.
No, not Brother Ed.
It was Ed Bill. But
Hey,
Ed was
brother,
on my. Did Ed show up?
Brother Ed is still alive.
But did Ed show up? Okay.
So
I don't know why he was on my mind.
I told Ed.
And his wife.
Yeah, Ed's wife was there.
Yeah.
I got to meet her for the first time ever. But I'll let Ed know that you thought he passed.
Well, he left. He left
He
us.
didn't go that far. So anyway, no, talking about Dr. Bill, though.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, to me, Dr. Bill is like the GOAT
Man, he was
of
cool.
cigar
He
lounge.
was a cool
Dude, I was watching a thing the other night on the oldest lounge in the world, and it's called The Fox in London.
Okay.
What? Michael J. Fox.
He listened to the book in too. That man did not say Michael J. Fox.
I know. Anyway, Dr. Bill had been there many times.
Yeah.
Like vacations. That's where he went. Dude, that smoking where Churchill.
This is the thing about Dr. Bill to me. He was a learned man. He was very wise.
He was educated.
But when you got to his socks.
Did he pick those out or did his wife?
Man, I loved his socks, man. I'm a socks man. I'm a shoes and a socks man.
You're a lot of things.
And I could not measure up to his level of
a lot of things.
He was eclectic with those socks, man.
Yeah, but a lot of things you do not measure up to Dr. Bill.
Oh yeah. But the sock game was outrageous,
and he also had shoes.
Yes,
and it was weird.
Loafers that I'm looking at his feet like, where'd you get that?
But it didn't matter if he was wearing loafers or sneakers.
The socks
were there.
The socks were there, and he loved to cross his legs so you could see him. And I'm like, look, and he's like, "What you saying, Brian?" I was like, "Nothing, sir, nothing." I'm just admiring those socks, man.
I got a minute to see his wife, and I said, "You know what? I did not know Dr. Bill that well. We exchanged a lot of pleasantries."
Yeah.
And I said, but here's the thing. Any day that I ran into Dr. Bill, he brightened your whole day.
Oh, yeah. Because there are a few times I've walked in the Leaf in a messed up mood, and it's like he could feel it. He's like, "Oh, how's it going today?" I'm like, he said, "Well, at least she's still here." And I'm like, "You right." And then he started talking about something just so off the wall. And I look at him like, "Dr. Bill, where is this coming from?" He said, "Well, you were already upset." He said, "I'm just trying to mess with your mind." I'm like, "You really are messing with my mind, man."
And this guy was 86.
He could talk about everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, like you said, going to London to vacation at J. Fox's. I'm not going to say the other thing you said. At J. Fox's. Smoking where Churchill smoked. Having real Cubans like he did.
Bringing them back
because he gave me one.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. He's like, "You'll never find this on a street corner." He said, "You'll never find this on one of them sideways joints." He said, "This is a real Cuban." I was like, man, I think I'm not supposed to be smoking this because it was the way I felt. It was good tobacco. And I just sat there and I looked at him. I'm like, oh, yeah, no.
Colorado.
We're not going there. I'm thankful he wasn't. But it was just like he had a plethora of knowledge. He had been so many places and seen so many things in his years. And he was just so cool and laid back with it.
Well, what was so great about the memorial that day in the back of the Leaf was I got to sit and visit with his son. Mm-hmm. And do you know his name, Jay? It seemed like it was Scott or something.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't think it was Scott because I think his other son's name is Scott.
Okay.
So this was the other one, and I forgive myself for not knowing the answer.
I can't remember your name, bro.
Hey, so I forgive myself. So anyway, we had a great conversation, man. He was a huge classic movie buff.
I can understand why. Look who his dad was.
And so we talked movies for a long time, and Cool Hand Luke came up.
Woo. Has Luke seen that movie yet?
No.
Okay.
Give up.
Give up. You're telling me to give up? All
give
right.
up.
I'll give up.
I watched it again.
I've watched it
I enjoyed the shit out of it, too.
The eggs.
My boy Luke. When I rewatched it, though, you know what scene really surprised me that I had forgotten about?
What's that?
Was when his brother brought his mother to visit him, and his mother was sitting in the back in that chair in the back of a pickup truck smoking
smoking cigarettes. Yeah.
I was like, dude, I forgot about that.
That's just real home living. You know, it's
or homeless.
She wasn't homeless. But that's what he left from. You know,
right.
He ran from that to be somebody and something. And even though he was in that prison in was it Louisiana?
I thought it was in Tennessee, but it could have been. I don't remember.
It was in one of them states where I'm not going with the banjo, but this is the truth. He ran away from that, man, because he thought that he knew he had more in life to give.
He wanted to get out and be somebody.
Ooh.
And you know what? He was.
He was.
Even though he was in prison, he was somebody.
I love when he sent the magazine back in George C. Scott. My boy Luke. Look, he said, "Can I look at it?" No, it's mine tonight. It's mine tonight.
Oh, he was like charging people.
Yes, to look at it.
Right.
Give it back.
You spent your money.
Yeah, I love that movie, man. But
no, back to the Leaf though. We want to say thank you to Jay.
We got way off.
Yeah, we do that on occasion. But the Leaf is a special home, and Jay and Corey and the staff take such good care of us. And they have anything from pipe tobacco, from pipes, cigar accessories, greatest coffee on the planet.
Tell the truth.
And beard oil.
True. And soap.
Cigars.
And soap.
Yes.
and Dominoes. It's a one-stop shop.
It's a man stuff. I mean,
and you hit it. It's all man stuff.
Well, I'm sure there's cigars.
There's no woman walking in there to get beard off for themselves.
True. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, Jay does cigars. You can call him up, and dude, he has a humidor the size of Noah's Ark, and it's
2x2.
Yeah,
2x2,
when you go in there, you feel like you're in the Noah's Ark because it's
wood,
all wood
and long. You're like, does this thing end? Does it? And
That's
then
what she
he
said.
has the mirrors at the back, so it looked like you just like. Is it going on forever?
I feel like there should be some sexy music from the 70s playing when you walk in there. You know what I mean?
Then I wouldn't buy a stick. Brown chicken, brown cow.
So, but anyway, if you're wanting to order some cigars, he carries Viva La Vida. He carries the Micallef. He also carries like Crux.
Yes.
Everything from Arturo Fuente,
CAOs,
my father.
my
Dude, the list goes on and on and on.
Monte
So
Cristo.
if you guys are needing some cigars, call up Jay. His phone number's down in the show. Well, not his personal phone number. I got in trouble for that. But his shop's number's down in the show notes.
If you look at an old enough, you may find.
No, I took it down.
You took it down.
Somebody called up Jay's like, yeah, I need to get some cigars. He's like, I'm having dinner with my family. But
yeah, this is not that phone.
So anyway, give him a call.
Yes.
And if you are a Light 'em Up crew member, let him know. And Jay will give you free shipping on your orders that are $100. Yeah.
Anything $100 above 100 Continental, he'll give you. Free shipping.
Continental. Yeah.
He ain't sending it to Australia free.
Peter Schmidt.
Sorry, bro.
No.
Sorry.
But anyway, then let's talk about Viva La Vida. In fact,
hold on.
I'm gonna go.
Somebody a couple of days ago, I was sitting in the Leaf as usual, in the chair as usual, and somebody was sitting next to me. Not Larry, because he looking like it wasn't me. There's somebody threw a Club 500 in my face. Like, look what I'm smoking.
Who was it?
Scott.
And then he smashed it out on the bar as he was leaving?
No, he smoked the heck out of that Club 500.
Well, he did smash a Club 500.
Wow.
I don't know.
I must have been that doggone. What happened?
I don't know. I haven't got the details yet, but when I find out, I'll let you know.
McGee must have told him something he ain't like.
I don't know. Anyway.
We know who McGee is, though.
Oh, yeah. Cherry fellow. Anyway.
I tried to stay PG-13.
Hey, Viva La Vida. Let me just tell you, I was up at the Leaf just before the show, and an old friend was like, hey, pick me out some cigars. And I was like, have you had these? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, you definitely got it. And I recommended the Diademas.
Okay.
And, I mean, that's a great stick.
Yeah.
And then I picked out a couple other ones, but she'd never heard of the Viva La Vida. And I was like, you get back to me after you smoke that stick.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to have a new friend.
I looked at you one way, Rob, but I love this stick now. And that's the way they are, man.
Yeah, they're really.
They are.
So
Dynamite.
Yeah. And then we have Micallef, which we have a special guest on the show, Lauren.
Yes.
And you'll get to meet her. She is the new National Sales Executive. And she's got a great history. But what they're doing at Micallef, I don't know another company that does it.
Nope.
I mean, they've got price point.
True.
4 to 42.
4.
They've got a blend for everyone.
Everybody.
17 different.
Everybody, as we say in St.
with
Louis.
several different Vitolas.
Everybody.
And you know what I got to jump back on?
What's that?
Is the Leander. I've been missing that one.
A great stick.
It is a great stick.
It's one of those that, just like you said, you wind up missing it.
Yeah, it's like, you know what?
You've been away from it
in a while.
That stays in your mind. It stays in that Rolodex. It doesn't go all the way to the back. It stays like right 2 or 3 away, saying the best thing you ever had is right here, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's right here. I love the Leander, man. The Reserva. You know my favorite, the Sumatra.
The Sumatra, and I really like the Riata.
Riata and Yo Medallia.
Oh, of course. That goes without saying.
Without saying.
But anyway, and also you can become a Micallef ambassador. Look in the show notes, click on the link, and they'll send you your own personal coin with this number on it.
Yes, sir.
And you can be part of the community, and it's growing by the thousands.
We haven't heard from
9999 or 10,000.
Or 10,000. So, for those that become members, you get to go onto the Facebook and be a part of the group there.
Right.
So, if the person that has 9999 and 10,000 are not listeners to us, let them know that we're waiting to hear from them.
That is exactly
we're
right.
waiting to hear from them.
Yeah, when they say, I got this number, we want to talk to you.
Got to talk to you. Got to talk to you.
It's like the lotto.
I want to see it.
Yes.
Got to see
Absolutely. And then we have Case Elegance.
Oh.
If you're looking for a quality humidor, one that's easy to set up, and, if you've never done a humidor before, you don't know the pain in the ass it is.
The science.
The science behind it. Yeah, because, I remember my first humidor. I had no idea what I was doing.
I put regular water in there.
Oh, I didn't do that.
I did.
I
missed it.
I got distilled water, but then I got like a rag and rubbed it all down way too much.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, you just kind of find your way through.
You feel your way through.
And then you don't do it for so long that when you do it again, you still don't know how.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
So the thing I love about Case Elegance is they send you a dummy book. And the dummy book says, hey, dummy, this is how easy it is. Just follow 1, 2, 3, 4.
3, and 4.
And you're like a champ.
Yeah. Just wait 3 days after 4.
And I think a big part of that, though, is because they use so much Spanish cedar and the quality craftsmanship that you notice it doesn't fluctuate.
No.
Dude, you've noticed it stays spot on.
Mine stays at 70 no matter what. I open it. One day I forgot I'd opened it and I left and I came back. I said, oh, man, I left my humidor. I closed it. An hour later, it was back at 70. I was like, that's quality, man.
Hell yeah.
That's quality.
Tim told me the same thing about his. He said, dude, I've been at 70 just spot on.
Spot on.
And it doesn't matter. And he bought a box of cigars last week. His first time ever to buy a whole box.
Uh-oh.
And he loaded it up, and after 2 or 3 days, he said, hey, man, my humidor still says 70. And I was like, that's perfect.
That's perfect, bro. This is a humidor that makes you want to keep it full.
Oh, yeah.
Because it looks good, and it looks better with sticks in it. So you want to keep sticks in it.
They all do.
Not all of them, because you get something you like, man, why did I buy this?
Well, yeah, but
the sticks look good,
yeah,
but the humidor, you like, let me go get another one.
But let me tell you, also, if you are in the market for a humidor, look down in the show notes for their link. Use the Cigar Talk code of Cigar Talk coin, and they'll send you a challenge coin with our logo on one side and theirs on the other.
When we break.
And it's very limited edition.
When we break.
Yeah.
Go get my coin.
Okay.
When we break. Go get my coin.
I've been telling you for 3 months. I haven't showed you my man bag yet either.
No, you haven't.
I'll show that to you.
All right, thank you.
And also, if you're looking for all kinds of man stuff, look at Case Elegance in the show notes. They've got leather bags. They've got watch cases. They got lighters, cutters, and they have a humidification system that if you have another system, it still work. And if you want to get on a subscription, you don't even have to worry about it. They just send it to you every so often.
Keep it at 70.
So click on Case Elegance in the show notes and go over there and check it out and get yourself a badass humidor.
100%.
So anyway,
you been cooking lately?
Dude, I have. And let me tell you what. Yesterday, I made pancakes.
On the grill?
Yes. Let me tell you what. That thing gets really hot.
Really fast?
Because I burned the shit out of 6 pancakes. Wow. Just bam, bam, bam. Because, dude, I wasn't used to it being so hot. So, anyway, I threw those away and started from scratch. I had to turn it down all the way.
Furby?
I gave him a quarter of a pancake.
Did he look at you like, what is this? Or
No,
he just looked at you as usual. Thank you.
So, but anyway, no, I did bacon and pancakes. Those were phenomenal. Wow. But, dude, let me tell you about Mac Daddy seasonings.
That's what I want to hear.
Because you know I'm not a chef. I mean, everybody knows
but
that.
But you're acting like one now.
Well, dude, you know, I've thrown some meat around on the grill before. And,
understandable.
And it's like, you know what? If you buy quality meat, it's going to taste pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to taste pretty good. I want it to be amazing, like when I go out to eat.
I got you.
And that's what happens when I use Mac Daddy's original recipes.
Yeah.
And so, or seasonings. I said recipes. You need to make some recipes, too. Anyway, Mac Daddy's has changed the way my family likes my cooking.
It's good now. We can survive off of it.
Yeah, you know, used to I'd cook and my kids would be like, I want McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the hospital, Daddy.
So anyway, no, check out Mac Daddy's. We'll have a show note for him as well.
Show notes.
Hook him up. Let him know that you heard about him on Cigar Talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So anyway, well, let's get to our pick 3. For me,
6?
Yeah, your pick 6, my pick 6, your pick 6, everyone's pick 6.
We don't want Larry's pick 6.
No.
Look at me. See, that the first one wasn't good. My pick 6 for this week. First is coming out the gate. It's going to be the 601 Maduro.
Is that the blue?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, will you hand me that sheet of paper?
It is a beast. 601 doesn't play with that one,
dude, let me tell you what. And 601 across the board is a really good value. I mean, it could easily be 20 to 30% more. They make that good cigars.
Yeah. But I'm glad they're where they at. Don't talk them up that way.
That's the Espinosa.
Oh, you got me the first Espinosa I had. And I was like, dude, why you been hiding this?
I had just started smoking them myself.
Ooh.
When I find a good cigar, I want to share it with everybody.
You did, and I'm thankful for it. My number 2 is my go-to. When I want something powerful, I want something that's going to say, okay, I'm here. You know it's me.
You call Larry.
Nah, Partagas Black.
Oh, same thing. No. Larry's not Partagas Black. He's Spartacus Black.
But the Partagas Black.
Dude, that's a great stick.
Everybody that hasn't had a Partagas Black, I don't know what rock you have been up under, but when you want something that has flavor, but also lets you know it's there.
Right.
That's that
and
stick.
It's a solid stick.
I
smoked one, I guess, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it had been a while, and I forget about that stick. And you know, the thing about it is, it's comparable to me of the old LFD Cabinet 6.
Okay,
they had a lot of similarities, but the new Cabinet 6s aren't like that. So I should be buying more Partagas Blacks. Because when I bought one, I really enjoyed it.
I tell you, it's a great stick, man. My last is going to be a CAO Columbia.
Really? I don't think I've ever had that one.
You need to get one.
Really?
Talk to the man.
Okay.
Jay.
What color band is on that one?
Oh, you got to be going back to my bands. I think it was red and blue. Yellow. Yellow.
Okay, cool. Well, on my list this week, I have the Padron 1964 anniversary, and the Vitola that I went with was the 4x56.
Huh.
Dude. And it's, you know, it's Padron, so you know you have those deep, rich coffee notes, those leather notes, earthy notes. And I love that cigar, and I really like it in that 4x56. That was a really interesting smoke. And then the Tabanero Maduro. I got my list right here.
Yeah, I got you. I'm looking at him. You got a list now, folks.
And, you know, on the website, it says mild to medium. I thought it was a solid medium. So, I mean, I didn't think it was lighter than a medium. But it was really just an amazing.
You got the perfect leaves for you that time, man.
Yeah, I really did. And, 90% of my enjoyment on a cigar comes from the draw.
Oh, yes.
If you don't have a good draw, it sucks. But if you have a good draw, you're good. But this isn't a good draw. This is the perfect draw.
Perfect. I got you.
You know what I mean? So check out that. They're online, and they are also on Instagram. And I'll put all of our cigars down in the show notes that we smoked this week. In fact, I'm putting pictures up on the YouTube so
YouTube.
You can see the picture of the cigar. And then the last one was a recommendation from Scott down at the Leaf, because I steer clear of Romeo and Julietas.
I know.
So I told Scott, you know what? I want to revisit. Well, you know what? Not revisit. I just like to visit because I always steered clear of them.
You walked away.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to smoke something that, some big company's running or whatever. But I started thinking about it, and when you get into like the bourbons,
yes,
those old school distilleries, they know what the hell they're doing. So you figure that the cigar guys know what they're doing too.
Because they've been around that long.
Right. So anyway, I went in and I talked to Scott, and he recommended the Romeo and Julieta Reserva Real Nicaragua, which
never had that
it only uses tobaccos grown on A.J. Fernandez's farm.
Wow.
So you already know that it's
tobacco, yeah.
Right. And so I was blown away. The draw was great. The wrapper was great. The burn. It was a solid cigar. So if you haven't tried that one, I highly recommend it as well.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, man, we're going to take a little break here. We got Lauren coming up next from Micallef. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. Hey guys, we have a special guest with us today. We have Lauren Koper. She is the National Sales Executive for Micallef Cigars, and we wanted to meet her, have her on the show so you guys could get to know her. So welcome to the show, Lauren. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So how's your experience been so far with the Micallef family?
Oh, I love it. I felt like it took me my whole life to get here, and so I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, so let's go back a little bit in your history. I know you were a tobacconist at CI. Was that up in the Colony?
Actually, the Fort Worth location. During COVID that summer, they decided to open up a new location, and I just squeaked by. I was looking for a new job, so I applied, and they hired me, and so I was working in the humidor for about 10 months before I was taken by Micallef.
All right. So what did you do before that?
I was actually in industrial sales. So I was, B2B. I was selling garage door operators and gate operators and commercial operators. So very, very sexy stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So are you from Texas or did you move down here?
I moved. So my long trek of history. So I'm originally from Chicago. I grew up in the Chicagoland area. And then I lived in California for about 5 years. So I always like to say I'm one of those assholes that from California to Texas.
Hey, well, we'll take you. We'll take you. You're a tobacconist, so we'll take you. Came in under the wire.
I appropriated all the way. So don't worry, guys. I totally converted.
All right. That's what we like to hear as Texans. So how long have you been at Micallef now? I saw you on LinkedIn probably about 3 months ago, I think, and you had changed your title, and I was like, oh, she's at Micallef. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think it's about 3 months now that I've been at Micallef. So I started in April, mid-April, and yeah, now I'm here now. So I feel like I've been here forever, but at the same time, I'm still an insecure new person. So I tow between both.
Well, I heard rumor that you actually moved to Weatherford.
Yes, I did.
Instead of Fort Worth.
Yeah, I was living in Koper at the time, and I got the job, and I just decided I didn't want to do the hour commute, and I decided to do the big move. And I personally love Weatherford. I think I call it a big small town, if that makes any sense. And it's so eclectic, though. There's so many great restaurants. People are just super nice here. And I just, I couldn't ask for anything less. I already have my own favorite cigar lounge now. I feel like I'm just building a life here.
So what is your new favorite cigar lounge? Is that AME?
AME, of course.
Very nice.
AME, the local cigar, Connie and Kenny. They're fabulous. They've done such a great, they opened last year during COVID, which is insanity.
Right.
When you see, all these businesses that are collapsing, there's still a lot of that entrepreneurship, that's still like, driving America. So they were so brave. They opened up. This is what they wanted to do, and they've been killing it.
Oh, you know what? I know people here in Abilene that drive up to AME on a regular basis to go smoke up there.
Oh, it's like it's so different too. I mean, I've been smoking for about like 8 years, and I think, we've been in our fair share of cigar lounges, but they're just so unique. You walk in, it's like 50% women in there, and it's just so welcoming, and you always feel like you're coming home every time you walk in there. Like, it's just such a casual, easygoing environment. They've done such great with their marketing, and they're really doing really well.
Yeah, and they're great people. So, I mean, if you want to visit a great shop, AME in Weatherford, Texas is a great shop to go visit. They have a great selection. And, I mean, like you said, it's just like when you walk in, you're just comfortable. It's automatically, it's friendly. Immediately. Yeah, that's what I love, those kind of shops. That's what we have here in Abilene. And when you walk into the Leaf, it's the same way. It's like you're just home away from home. Or sometimes I'm at home, and that's my home away from home because I'm at the Leaf more often than I'm home.
Yeah, I remember when I told my boyfriend, he's like, "Where are you at?" I'm like, "I'm at the lounge," because you always call it the lounge, right? You never say like it's always your place,
right?
And my boyfriend's like, "Oh, no surprise, yeah." You're either at the gym or you're at a cigar lounge. So,
hey, good combination.
Yeah, I know.
Both of those things are very
my lifestyle.
Well, I was going to say, to me, both of those things are very healthy. The gym is healthy, and smoking cigars, relaxing is healthy.
Well, it's like therapy. My parents got me this sweatshirt that says, I smoke cigars because therapy is expensive. Right. And it's like very cathartic. You go in there, you relax, and I think I'm a really like active person. I'm really like high intense energy, but it's like one of those rare moments in my life that I can just sit down, take a moment, and just appreciate being there and being in my own skin and everything. So I like it.
So tell me about your experience at CI. I mean, you got to work with a lot of different cigar brands. You got a great education for the time being there because, I mean, when you have that many brands, I'm sure you tried as many as possible in 8 months.
Yeah, the only thing that slowed us down a little bit in the beginning, our customers they needed to wear masks for a certain time, and then after that they didn't need to wear masks anymore, but we still had to wear them. So there was a while where the employees could not smoke on the floor.
Oh,
but
wow.
It was terrible. Like when we had the snow apocalypse, I remember like sitting on the porch, like trying to smoke a cigar, and it was just miserable and it was freezing cold. Like definitely cigar smoking is not always the most friendly outdoor sport.
No, it's definitely not. No. And in Texas,
in the weather.
Well, with the heat in the summer, it's not even enjoyable sometimes when it's, 9 o'clock at night and 97 degrees out.
Oh, yeah, and the sun's beating down on you. It's like, absolutely not. But it definitely did. And once we repealed the mask mandate, then it was really like smoking a lot on the floor and everything. But it was great because I always wanted to get into cigars. I was smoking for a very long time, but I really didn't know much about cigars, really. Like, I thought I had a good general knowledge base, but once you kind of immerse yourself in the environment, you kind of realize how much you don't know. So
right.
I think Cigars International I had great mentors for starters, like very knowledgeable managers and leaders there. And it was just this quick education, and I'm so grateful for it because I feel like I know my shit now. So.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. I myself have a full-time job, and for about 3 months, I went to work at the Leaf, and the owner was like, I can't pay you what you're used to making, and I was like, I don't care if you pay me at all. I just want the experience. You know what I mean? And because once you immerse yourself into a lounge, you learn so much that you didn't even know what you didn't know.
And there's so much to cigars too. And I also like cigars as well because I feel like it's everyone's to each interpretation when it comes to like palates and everything. And also like you can never be a full expert all the way because like there's so many brands out there. There's so much going on. So in a way it's like you're always a humble student. You're always
right.
you're always like always willing to learn, and you never have to admit that you know everything, which I kind of like that flexibility because, I'm always learning, and I always like to, enter life with a generous learning curve to it.
Oh, I just watched a documentary last night, and I know it's been around. You may have already seen it, but it was Seed to Smoke by the Davidoffs.
Oh, yeah.
That is a great documentary if you want to see, and you haven't had the opportunity to go on a tour down in Nicaragua or Dominican Republic, but wow, I was blown away. It was like, I thought I knew the whole process, but I did not know the entire process.
Yeah, and like I got some books, like I got my tobacconist handbook over here, and just, you're always reading up on it, and you realize how complex the culture is, or just the art form of it, and it makes you really appreciate what you're smoking and what you're learning, and being a part of, like, even like just being a part of this whole experience is like really rewarding. So
you've been at Micallef now for about 3 months. Have you made it through the entire line?
Oh yeah.
She's like, many times.
But I do need to like revisit some because you're like, creature of habit. Like, but there's a La Crema here. But
right.
And then you forget that you actually really like some of the other ones too. Like I smoked the Riata the other day. I was like, man, this is a really good cigar. Like I need to smoke this more now.
A Riata is perfect for me with a cup of coffee.
Oh no, it's great with coffee. You got that San Andreas Sumatra on it. It's just fabulous.
Oh yes, and that's usually what I pair it with either Sumatra coffee or a Brazilian coffee. Dead match. I mean, it's just like, oh yes, this makes good for a great morning.
Well, it's like funny, like so Al like makes this like pecan infused coffee or something.
Oh, I love his pecan coffee.
Oh, isn't it delicious?
And I normally don't like infused coffees, but that one knocks it out of the park.
I know. Like, he gave me, like, a 5-pound bag, and I went through it so fast. Like, I could not stop drinking it. But, like, I paired it, like, with the La Crema. It tastes amazing. Like, I absolutely, like, it just sings in combination so nicely.
Yeah, I'm a huge coffee drinker, so in the morning, starting at 7, I'm smoking cigars and drinking coffee, and then usually by afternoon, it's a tea and coffee, and then by evening, it's a bourbon and coffee, unless I'm off, and then it's bourbon whenever.
Yeah, right. I'm definitely a big coffee drinker myself, so, I probably shouldn't drink as much as I do, but... I
think it's good for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It does clear the insides, I feel.
It's what I tell myself every day, so anyway... So how's your experience been with the Micallef team? I mean, it's a whole new role for you. How does that working out for you? I mean, you're going from being a tobacconist at one location to the national sales executive. That's a big jump. I mean, going from a local location to a national role.
Yeah, I do feel like it's different because I think there's definitely an expectation that you're representing something that beforehand, I feel like with every job, you're always representing the company and the thread of everything. Like right now, like I'm representing a brand, an exciting brand that's like on the brink of exploding, which is really exciting. So like, it's kind of cool to be like on the front lines. And right now it's still like, we're still kind of a smaller operation. So so you can always, when it's a smaller operation, like you have this flexibility of doing multiple things, not just doing one thing. So it's like you have like kind of creative control over like your day-to-day tasks. And, I get to go on podcasts now, which is like super exciting.
Right.
Like, yeah, I kept doing them because like I want to get better at interviewing, but like I love it. Like it's so great.
Well,
like,
I did see you on
family.
I did see you on the Texas Roadshow. You did fabulous. I love David over there and Ian.
Yeah. Oh, they were so great.
And
they were so nice.
They do great work. We love those guys. But I saw that and I was like, I've already talked to Al about getting you on our show, and there you go, getting on the Texas Cigar Roadshow first. I was jealous. I was like, what happened here?
To be fair, I'm so easygoing with it. They're like, do you want to do this? I'm like, sure, why not? Like, let's do this.
Hey, well, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So how is your job as far as reaching out nationally? I mean, I know there's a potential or a huge potential growth for Micallef where they already are. I think that they're probably in the top 3 cigars that most brick and mortars are selling in their shops. I know at the Leaf, the Micallef brand is lights out. But I mean, so how do you approach other markets that the Micallef brand's not in yet?
Well, it can be kind of tough because like we're not really well known on the West Coast yet, and it's like gaining speed with that, and but it really right now it's just making a lot of phone calls and sending out samples and discussing our programs that benefit the brick and mortars, really putting the Micallef name out there. That's like really what my strategy is just going in and
blowing up the phone. Yeah. Well, and I mean, the thing about it is, as a CI tobacconist, how familiar were you with the Micallef brand?
Really not at all. Like, I newly moved from California to Texas, so I didn't really have that like local knowledge, or even Al. Like Al started coming into CI, and that was my first introduction to Al Micallef and Micallef cigars. And so, he would make comments. He's like, I really want you to work for me. And I was like, eh. But then he kept coming in and bringing cigars, and we started becoming really good friends. And I really liked the cigars. And so when I was finally approached with an opportunity to go work for Micallef, like I was on board with it. But I think once I started working for Micallef and seeing what we do for brick and mortars and seeing what culture we are personally creating within the cigar culture, I think it really hits home about how fabulous the Micallef brand is. Like, we're doing some really exciting things here. And again, it's so exciting to be part of that and in the throes of the beginning.
Yeah, and the thing about the Micallef brand is once you dive in to see what they're doing, I think that if you are a tobacconist or a brick and mortar, you're blown away by the amount of support that Micallef gives to the brick and mortar. I don't know any other cigar companies that do as much for the brick and mortars as what Micallef does.
Yeah, from what I know, I don't see like or at least going back to the drawing board and trying to create like new comprehensive programs. I think as I said before, I think we're all kind of like creatures of habit, and there's a lot of companies. They're great companies, but they're kind of still doing the same thing all the time. We want to be like one of the top manufacturers in the United States. So like we're really putting I know Amanda does a fabulous job, Dan's doing a fabulous job as well, coming up with like exciting ideas where we could really propel the Micallef brand and continue to work with our brick and mortars too.
Yeah, every year I'm like, okay, they've done so much now. There's nothing else they can do to top what they just finished doing. But then they keep surprising me with all these awesome programs.
Yeah, and and I've said this before, and it's not really like we love cigars. It's what attracted us to be here to begin with. But like what really like drives you in and sucks you in and never lets go is the culture. Like it's the brick and mortars. That is the bread and butter of the cigar industry. Like you can order cigars online all the time, but as soon as you walk into a lounge, it's like what really hits. That's when you said like you're home. Like I'm home. I'm here. This is my family. My closest friends are cigar smokers. Like I know cigars have given so much value in my personal life, and
I don't have any friends that don't smoke cigars. That's a criteria to be my friend.
Yeah, my girlfriends always thought I was weird because they're like, "Where are you, Lauren?" I'm like, I'm at the lounge." They're like, "Huh?" And then my girlfriends in Long Beach, they would just come to the lounge to hang out with me because they just thought it was fun to hang out there. They didn't even smoke cigars.
Now, where is Long Beach? I don't know. Is that closer to LA or closer to San Diego? Okay.
Yeah, it's in LA County. So it's Southern California. And I also lived in Sacramento for a couple years too.
Now that's way north.
Yeah. So okay. I got both ends of the pie there.
Gotcha.
So I made it because when I was single and dating, I always made this joke that Southern California guys always tell me how much money they make. And then guys in Northern California, they just want to take you hiking.
So let me ask you this. I assume that your boyfriend smokes cigars.
He will join me, but it's not his thing.
It's not a passion of his.
Yeah, he'll come with me. I keep a humidor at his place, so he'll break in that once in a while. But it's not jam.
Hey, well that's nice because you don't have to worry about him smoking all your sticks.
No, he has to ask my permission too.
Very nice.
Hey, he's smoking? Okay, that's fine. That's acceptable. But it'd be funny. We'll be out in public and we're smoking cigars or something, and everyone goes up to him. They start talking about cigars. He's like, it's her.
Right. Yeah, and the rule for me is if the cigar is in my humidor, I smoke it if I want to smoke it. And that goes for, like, my co-host sometimes is like, you know what, I'm going to leave these cigars in your humidor till next week. But while they're there for a week, I'll smoke any of them because it's like, hey, you loaned them to me. Maybe you'll get some of them back.
Mm-hmm. That's a good if.
So what are some of your other Micallef favorite sticks besides the La Crema and the Riata?
I really like the Leyenda series. I honestly, like, one of my favorite wrappers, my newly favorite wrappers right now is the Ecuadorian Habano.
Oh, I love that wrapper. Yes.
Oh, it's like even like if you go to other brands too, like there's like, I don't know what it is about Ecuadorian Habano. I just feel like it's just a solid medium. Because, like, sometimes, like, you have, like, a medium or even a Habano cigar, and, like, sometimes it'll fall flat in the flavor. I like to call it, like, it doesn't really have a lot of weight to it sometimes. Like, some of them, anyway. But, like, Ecuadorian Habanos are just, like, they're a little complex. They have this, like, really good nutty aftertaste for me, personally, and I just love them.
I look at the Ecuadorian Habano wrapper as a wrapper I know it's going to be like a medium, but it's going to have all these great flavors.
Oh, I know. And it tastes so good with, like, whiskey or beer. Like, oh, fabulous with an ale. Love it.
Now, see, I don't drink beer. I mainly just drink bourbon, every now and then some scotch. But, yeah, Habano wrappers and bourbon are great matches.
Love it. Like, yeah. So those are my series. Especially, like, the special edition. Like, that's a really good one, too. Like, and it's a Toro size. And, I always, can't go wrong with a Toro, so.
Now, have you smoked? Well, you said you smoked them all, so I know you did. What'd you think about the Micallef Connecticut? Because I think that's one of the best Connecticut's on the market.
I smoked it once, like, in the afternoon. I was like, eh. But, like, smoking it in the morning is fabulous. And I that needs to smoke Connecticut in the morning. Like, and once it hits a certain point, like, in the day, like, my palate will just be like, I don't like this. But, like, in the morning, I love, like, working at Cigars International made me really appreciate smoking in the morning. I never thought I was ever going to do it. I never thought I was going to be a morning smoker. Now I love it. Like, it's just, oh.
Yeah, it's a great way to start a day.
Yeah, because you open up your palate. Like, once you start learning about cigars too, you realize certain blends or certain strengths are good at certain times of the day or certain occasions. So it really makes you appreciate it, and it opens up your palate to smoking stuff you don't normally smoke. Like, my palate's like medium to full, so I'm definitely a Maduro girl. Love Maduros, but like, I started smoking Connecticut's more, and now I really appreciate that because of being a morning smoker.
Yeah, that's the same way I was. I was at one time the dark Oscuro Maduro, as dark as it could be, as powerful, as much nicotine, but now, especially probably because I smoke all day, is I love a good Connecticut in the morning, and then I kind of progress my day throughout the day, and I usually end up with something pretty bold in the evening. But throughout the day, I'm really a medium smoker.
Yeah, me too. Like, it's morning Connecticut's are light, and then lunch you get the mediums, and then late afternoon, evening, especially like I love a good Connecticut broadleaf post meal. Like, that is like dessert.
Oh, absolutely. And, something else I was going to say earlier when we were talking about the Riata, you know what else is great with the Riata is some nice rum.
Oh, yeah. One of my friends turned me on rum. It is so dangerous. It's so
It is dangerous. It is dangerous.
Yeah. And I'm just like, he's such an asshole. He'll, like, take a picture of it while I'm at work, while he's at AME. And it's like a siren song calling to me, and I'm like, no, if I go there, I'm gonna be there for the entire night, and then have to work the next morning. Because I end up just drinking the whole bottle. Like, it's terrible.
Yeah, because it's so smooth and it doesn't come on like it's gonna be strong, but it still has a lot of alcohol in it. So it makes for a great pairing though with some of those medium and even less than medium sticks.
Yeah, and I remember, so one of our reps, Jared, he's I'm terrible at pronouncing names, so excuse me, a sommelier. I can't pronounce it. But anyways, so he, like, knows a lot about, like, pairings and everything, and I didn't know about whiskey. Like, technically, rum is way better to pair with cigars because it doesn't interfere with the flavors as much, and I had no idea. I always thought whiskey went best with cigars, but that's what his advice was on it anyway.
Whiskey goes best with me.
I'm not gonna change my stripes or anything. Like I was like, nah, we still like whiskey, so we're gonna drink it.
Yeah. So, like, what kind of craft beers are you into? I mean, are you like an IPA girl?
Oh, yeah, I like stouts.
Really?
Stouts, porters. I think I was just destined to like I love obvious strong flavors, so I'm not surprised that I like cigars now.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a beer drinker just because it seems to me, and I do like the dark stouts if I'm going to drink beer, but wow, they just fill you up like you're full. You know.
I don't know. I can smoke Guinness. I can drink Guinness all day. I don't know what it is.
Really?
Like, I love dark beer. I love like imperial stouts too because they have this like creamy like foam on the top. Oh, beautiful. I wish more companies made them because you can't swing a dead cap and not hit an IPA anywhere. But like finding a stout in the middle of summer is like the holy grail.
Yeah, that's one of my buddies here in Abilene. He loves stouts. In fact, I think, have you ever heard of or had Dragon's Milk?
Yes.
That's the last one I had.
That will knock you on your...
I just had one, but we were at a little bar and they had craft beers and I was like, yeah, I'll try one. So it was good, but I couldn't like just drink one of those one after the other. It was like after I drank one, I was like, all right, now let's get back to the bourbon.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be able to stand either if I drink one after. Especially on Dragon's Milk, what is it, like 17% or something?
Yeah, it was 17.
Yeah, absolutely not. But like when I lived in California too, like so I went to they have Sierra Nevada up there, so I would go there on work trips to Chico, and it was really cool. Like they do all these like exciting blends and everything, like stuff that you can't really find in the stores, and they have this like special blends or special brews that they do. It's called, I think, Back into the Woods or something. And it's like the really strong, dark beers that they'll make are just strong. Like they won't give you a full container of it. They only give you half because it's really strong. But it's really good stuff there.
Now, being from California or being that you lived there for some time, I got to ask you, though, are you also a wine drinker?
I like wine, but I'm not. I don't know a lot about it. Like I'm like I go. This is terrible. Like I go to Aldi and buy Winking Owl, like the I'm totally fine with that. Like, but I like wine. Like I enjoy it. Like I never used to like red wines. I like red wines, but I could not dissect the flavors or the notes to it. Like I'm not really into it like that. But I will drink lots of it.
Well, all my friends from California tell me they go to all these wine tasting parties, events, and so it seems like in California, if you live there, you have to drink wine.
Oh, you have to go to Napa at least once.
I heard it's beautiful. I heard the wine is great. I'm not really a wine drinker, but a friend of mine brought some like really high class wine down and I drank some of it and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good, but I wouldn't ever buy that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like wine, like wine for me is just, I love it after dinner, like, especially after a workout, like pour a glass of wine and everything. But I love, like, I went to Napa with my boyfriend. We had a fabulous time. We did the tastings and everything. Eventually, you don't know what they're saying to you, but.
So now that you're in Weatherford, are you settled in yet?
Mm-hmm. So I do have an apartment. So I got an apartment there. And yeah, we're still working on the furniture part. We're getting there slowly, but we're pretty much settled in.
Okay. Now, where's your boyfriend from?
So he's actually like me. He's from the Chicagoland area, but he's been living in Texas for a very long time, like 25 plus. So, but he's one of those guys that was like, he wasn't born here, but he got here as quick as he could. He loves Texas.
I have a good friend from Chicago, and that's what he always said. I got here as fast as I could, bro.
Yeah, like when we were dating, we kind of did the long distance, between California and Texas. And I was like, Texas. Like I didn't even know how much I was gonna like it. And then when I moved here, I just fell in love with it. I think it's really the culture and the people that really do it for me. Like I really. It's
got to be the culture because the weather sucks. 3 or 4 months of the year, the weather sucks.
Yeah, I can deal with like hot weather. Though.
Oh no, I hate hot weather.
Chicago, though, like it's just as human, and you're just like, oh, this is like coming home. But I will not deal with winter. Then I have PTSD. I swear to God.
Well, see, that's why I could never live up north. But when the one time I went to Chicago, it was in July. I was staying with some friends, and I don't know how hot it was, but it was so humid and so hot, and they didn't have AC, and I was miserable. I was like, I didn't even know it was hot and humid in Chicago.
Yeah, I've lived that life, believe me. Not having an air conditioner. Ugh.
Yeah, they had the windows open and fans blown, and I was like, I can't sleep, man. This is awful.
No, I cannot. My mom asked me if I had an air conditioner, and I was like, yes, Mom. It gets hot in Texas. Like, I didn't realize how intense the sun was until I started living here, and it's intense. Like, even Sacramento would get hot. It would get up in the hundreds during the summer. Probably why it's on fire all the time.
That's awesome. Hey, so is there anything coming up that Micallef is doing that you can tell us about that they don't want you to tell us about?
No, I can't. But in terms of like what we're doing currently right now, we're really putting together like women's events and starting to work with our customers on that, because like we really made a strong initiative this year to like really bring on women smokers and like, or just create new smokers. And so we're putting together these events where they're kind of walking through how to light a cigar, how to cut a cigar, a little brief history on it, and just like making like such a fun, interactive environment and learning experience. And as a woman smoker, like it's really like exciting to see the smoking culture becoming more diverse every day. Like if you walk into AME, it's like 50% women in there half the time.
So do you remember, especially being a woman, the first experience of going into a cigar lounge?
Oh yes.
And did you feel intimidated?
Yes and no. For me, well, actually, I did make a joke with my friends. I would call it, my strategy would be breaking in a cigar lounge. So, because you're basically like a unicorn walking in there, and everyone's staring at you, and you go into the humidor, and then the guy would come in, and I would just name drop all the brands that I smoke, and he's like, okay, that's what you're talking about. And then you come back out, and then everyone's watching you try to like light and cut your cigar. So it can be really intimidating at first in some situations, depending. And then you sit there, and then everyone's like afraid to like swear in front of you.
And then you start out with swearing so everybody's comfortable.
I know. I'm like, oh, just wait till you hear me talk. It's unnecessary. Unnecessary. Don't worry about it. But I think my personality, honestly, is like I don't mind, I guess, being like the center of attention. Or I don't really like. I'm pretty resilient when it comes to walking into new experiences like that. So for me, I think it, like the cigar culture, it does attract a certain caliber of woman to walk into a cigar lounge by herself. Now, that being said, though, now it's like we're working on it to do make it comfortable, so women do feel more comfortable walking into an environment that they're not so fluent in.
Right. Well, I know whenever my first few trips into a cigar lounge, especially when I started going by myself, I was even intimidated because, you don't know what you're doing. And there's lots of guys sitting around smoking cigars. They know what they're doing, or at least you think they do. And so I'm thinking that as a female walking into a cigar shop by herself, it is intimidating. And I think that what you guys are doing by having events for women only or women events, that you can like give that I guess comfort level to them to learn, because that's the big part, is learning.
Yeah, and it's, I think as a woman too, I think especially when you're trying something new, like there might be like this intense, and this is probably even normally for everyone, there's this intense pressure to be like an expert running out the gate.
Right.
And that's not necessary. Like, no, everyone starts somewhere, like, and it's okay if you don't know everything. It's okay if you don't know how to cut your cigar, like the first time doing it, or if you need help. So,
I didn't know how to cut a cigar for 3 years.
I was so nervous because like I would get like the guys would just stare at me while they're like, "Do you need help?" And I'm like, "No, fine, I can do it."
Yeah, I mean, I never asked how to cut a cigar. I didn't know there was a technique, and people didn't tell me because they figured I knew. You know what I mean? So there's that unspoken teaching that you're missing out on, because if you don't ask for help, people assume that you already know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing about these classes too. It's not even just for women. It's just even for seasoned smokers that just maybe like, oh, I didn't know I was not supposed to do that. Or it's just we're gaining to make these events designed specifically to let people be comfortable asking questions, comfortable learning something new, and at the same time creating new smokers, which is, very important.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it's a segue for people to join a community that isn't just local, it's worldwide. I mean, how many times have you been sitting out in front of a hotel smoking a cigar? Next thing you know, somebody's sitting down with you smoking a cigar. You learn everything you want to know about each other. It's just a beautiful community.
I love it. And people don't realize how diverse it is. Like they don't. They just think it's just, they say it like an old white man club, and it's not. Especially like moving to Long Beach, the lounge I used to go to, I was like the only white girl that went there. It was primarily Black, Mexican. All my friends like are fluent in Spanish, or Nicaraguan as well. Like they're Nicaraguan, Mexican, Cuban, all that other stuff. And it's not even just about like the ethnicities of diversity. It's also like occupations, background, perspectives, like religions. Like I become friends with people who are in the Orthodox Jewish community, like all that from just smoking cigars.
And what's so cool about it is you get to learn about other cultures, because there's no like pretense when you go into a cigar lounge. And I mean, where else could you go and meet people from all different backgrounds and get to know their cultures, their experiences? And so, I mean, that's just one of the things I love about the cigar community.
Yeah, and I feel like people are part of like the industry as well, and like the community. Like I think there's always this level of curiosity, and I love just learning about people and their stories and everything like that. So I think you have this like-mindedness of people who just love learning about other people or just things in general. Like it's a really valuable community to be a part of.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, well, is there anything that you want to tell us about before we go? Is there like any contact information you want to give out? What do you want to do before we go? I'm leaving that up to you.
I guess. I mean, I'm on Instagram. Like I post things about cigars on Instagram. Like usually we'll get better at posting stuff and a little off with updating it all the time. But it's triple Maduro. _Maduro. That's my Instagram handle. If anyone wants to go on there and follow me on there.
Now, is that for the Camacho?
Yeah.
Now, that is a full power stick right there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I remember I do I'm like you. Like I love the strong cigars. One of my buddies gave me LFG's Nast.
Oh, wow. I've smoked at least 2 of those.
Yeah. I was like, am I in danger? Should I be terrified? Because I read this guy's review on it and it was hilarious. But he was saying how strong it was. But luckily I was able to get through it. So
yeah, I'll tell you this. My experience with the Naz was I smoked the strongest cigars on the market every day, all day long at this period in my life. And the cigar shop owner was like, oh, you should smoke this one. This one will knock you on your ass. And I was like, man, no cigar's going to knock me on my ass. And so I smoked it, and I felt pretty woozy at the end of it. And I didn't smoke another cigar for 4 hours.
Oh, wow. See, I made sure to, when I was smoking, I made sure to have, an old-fashioned. So I at least could have, the sugars, just in case I had any side effects from it. That was fine. But have you ever had the Punisher? No,
I have not.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's like this little perfecto, and it has it's all a Haro essentially. They dip the end in jalapeno oil.
No way.
Delicious. Me and my old coworker Robert, we love the strong stuff, so we're yeah. I was my eyes are watering, my nose is running, but this is fantastic.
So, do you like Mexican food?
Yeah, I do.
And do you like it hot?
Surprisingly, Like, I don't really like terribly spicy things, but now, like, that I'm getting older, like, I'm starting to appreciate that side of life.
See, that surprises me because usually people who smoke really strong cigars love really spicy foods.
Yeah, I'm not really into, like, giving myself pain when I eat. So,
yeah,
but,
my regular go-to salsa is habanero salsa, and it will light you up.
Oh, wow. Well, my boyfriend's really into spicy food. So I took him to a Thai restaurant. He's never had Thai food before. And they asked him, they're like, okay, how spicy do you want it? He's like, I want it spicy. And I'm like,
this is not jalapeno spice.
Yeah. Got a whole different level. He's like, oh, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And he's like, eating. And I'm like, how's your food? He's like, it's great. Great. Just sweat. Like, he drinks so much water. He's like, this is fine.
Wow. See, I've actually never had Thai food either, and I hear it's really spicy. Yeah,
like there's spice. Like I got baby lips, so I'm just like, medium at best. We'll go on there. Like, not even that. That's even probably too spicy. Like when it comes to Thai food.
I got you. So connect with her on Instagram at @triple_Maduro, and I gotta say, I was so excited when the second round of Triple Maduros came out, and my buddy at the lounge put a stick back for me because he knew I wanted it. And when I smoked it, it completely just unraveled. It was horrible.
Wow.
I was so disappointed. But you know what? I take that with a grain of salt because it's all handmade products.
Exactly. Like, and I actually haven't smoked camachos in a while, because you're too busy smoking other things now. Like, once you get past it, but like, cigars are like that. Even if you don't like a cigar, like, they always say, like, you should just revisit it again.
Oh, absolutely.
Or you just see where your palate has grown, or maybe where it's outgrown it. I've definitely experienced that with certain brands.
Well, and sometimes when you smoke a cigar for the first time, you really don't appreciate it, because you have certain levels of expectations and you don't really have any idea. So you should just go in with a blindfold and enjoy what it has to offer. Versus, I know the first time I smoked the Micallef Reserva, I was like, it was okay. Well, then I smoked another one and I was like, that was actually pretty good. And by the third time I smoked it, I was like, holy shit, that's a damn good cigar. So
yeah, it's like a hook.
Yeah, and so you can't really judge a cigar. I say you got to smoke a cigar 3 times before you really get it.
Yeah, and then, like, picking up on the notes and what, like, or even just, like, paying attention to how it, like, evolves as you smoke it, or, like, what, like, at the end, like, how's the flavor compared to the beginning. Like, it's a very meditative process, smoking cigars. And it was interesting, like, so Amanda Micallef, she does the marketing. She was not a cigar smoker at first when she came in to do work for Micallef. And she said, like, she tried the medallion the first time. She's like, I hated it. Like, I felt it was awful. And then she's like, now it's my favorite cigar.
Yes, it is.
And then finally, because, like, it took her a while to, like, try them. And then, because she didn't understand, like, she said she never understood the hook of cigars. And then one day it just, like, all clicked in. And I was like, this is why I see why people are crazy about this.
Well, that's how it was for me, too. I smoke cigars on a regular basis. Well, I'll say regular, once a month. And I had no idea what I was doing. And I would just go in and I would buy a $20 cigar because I figured a $20 cigar's got to be good.
Yes.
And they never did anything for me. I had a tobacconist pick out a Christoph for me once, and that was when the light went on. Well, the light came on, and then it's been 150% passion ever since. So, what was your experience when the light came on?
Like, I don't know. Like, for me, it was, I would remember going to beer festivals, and I would see the cigar tents there, and I liked the smell. I've always liked the smell of cigars. So, it was something that I was always kind of curious about. And then finally, I picked up, at the beer festival, and I enjoyed it. And then I think for me, when I walked in my first cigar lounge, that's when it was like a done deal for me that I wanted this in my life all the time.
Well, and it's funny because I love the smell before I ever smoked a cigar. Even when I was a teenager, we used to have a cigar shop in the mall because I'm old. and it was called Smokers Haven. And you guys have Micallef in Smokers Haven, but it used to be in the mall back in the 80s. And we would go up to the mall, and you would walk into this cigar shop, and I mean, it just smelled amazing. And so, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just enthusiastically agree.
Yeah, and it's like, even though I didn't smoke cigars or pipe tobacco, when I would walk into that store, I was just like, this smells amazing. But it was 25 years later when I started smoking cigars.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I remember I was like a receptionist and for this company, and they like the owner of the company. They're like, yeah, his name is Mr. Raymond. They're like, he likes to smoke cigars in his office, so just letting you know, like, we're just warning you in advance. And I was like, this sounds great. Like, I love this. This is right on the cusp of me getting into cigars too. So I think some people just there's some people that hate the smell of cigars.
Oh yeah.
I think we're like those people that were meant to be cigar smokers.
Absolutely. Well, the funny thing is, I stopped at a restaurant last night. My wife went in to pick up an order, so I'm sitting in the car, and I'm smoking a cigar. I have the windows down, and this family comes out. It's a man and a woman and 3 small children. One of them was even in a basket. And I heard the wife go to her husband, wow, that cigar smells really good. And I was like, wow, see, they get it. They get it.
Yeah.
Because usually you hear, oh, that stinks or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't you just think it's funny? Like, people think, like, it's polite to come up to you and tell you that's gross. Like, I've had that happen to me before. Like, I'd be at a park minding my own business, and it's like this, like, old lady's like, that's gross. But her husband was like, yeah.
Well, when I was I used to live in Houston, and I went back to visit a few years ago. And so I was like, I want to go to a smoking bar so I can smoke my cigars. And I went to a bar, and it said smoking allowed. I go in there, I fire up a cigar, and then they asked me to put it out because it's a cigar. And I'm like, so you're choosing to let people smoke cigarettes in here, but I can't smoke a cigar.
Which I think cigars smell way better than a cigarette does.
I think cigarettes stink. That's just me personally. But the funny thing is, we went to another bar, and they let me smoke my cigars. But an old couple came in, and they were sitting at the table next to us. And every time I would puff a cigar, I would see the woman, like, make a face at her husband like it was disgusting. And they were smoking cigarettes, okay? So I was like, I don't understand.
Oh, I think that's hilarious. Or it's like, like living in California, like, you could walk up and down the street and be smoking weed all damn day. But
right.
Like, light up a cigar in public.
Right. And you're like the Satan of the earth. But the funny thing is, though, when I finally finished that cigar in that little bar, the husband said to the wife, thank God he's done. And what did I do? I lit up another one. So
that reminds me when I went to, like, San Diego has a really great cigar culture too. Like, they have like some really cool cigar bars, especially in the gas lamp district.
Have you been to the Cave?
No.
Okay.
I don't think I've been.
So Emmy Lee was a guest on the show, but anyway, she has a really nice cigar lounge down in San Diego. I think it's in Temecula.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Temecula. Oh, yeah. I've been to Temecula.
And it's like a gypsy bohemian styled lounge that's like really plush and just really comfortable. And it's like, that dark atmosphere with the really nice furniture. Anyway, y'all should check them out because I've been trying to tell them they should carry Micallef for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna get on that.
Emmy Lee, the Cave. But anyway, yeah. I was impressed that California has as many lounges. And what's shocking to me is how many people from California listen to Cigar Talk, because I would think that California would be like not that interested in cigars, but also not that interested in hearing some Texan guy with a Texas accent talk about cigars. So it's one of our larger markets. So we're happy to have anybody from California listen.
The one thing that is kind of like I feel like there's like a really great cigar culture in California, but it's like politicians are just wanting to quash it so much. I think they're raising their tobacco tax again.
Oh, no.
And I know in Los Angeles, like, they have banned outdoor smoking.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like kind of like really, it's especially like the ones in Los Angeles, like it's really crushing the business over there. And then I've been talking to, lounges, up and down the coast, and now they're trying to ban infused cigars, which, I'm not an infused smoker, but I understand the benefit that they give to the cigar community. So it's just, I don't know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not an infused cigar smoker myself, but I am an adult, and I should be able to choose whatever the hell I want to do without anybody telling me what I can and can't do. If I'm not hurting someone else, leave me alone.
Exactly. Well, that's why I like Texas too. It's I feel like it really suits my personality. I just want to be left alone. I want to be left alone to make whatever decisions I need to make in my life. And so that's why I really love Texas and that thread and tempo of culture I really enjoy.
Yeah, it's if you grew up in Texas and you go to other states, you just don't understand. It's like, I don't get why the state's telling you what you can and can't do.
Yeah, exactly. And I have told this before. I just love the way they treated COVID here. It was very much about personal choice and about being open. And, I was working with the general public, like in the throes of COVID. So it was just a good opportunity though, to like, just to be out and about in the world and have that, I've been talking to my Chicago friends and they're just starting to open up, and my California friends.
Right. Yeah. I talked to my friends in Indiana last week and they were telling me they were still wearing masks. I was like, are you serious? Wow.
Yeah. And I'm walking now. I don't even like no one's wearing masks anymore. Like it's nice. Like
yeah. Well, hey, Lauren, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. And we look forward to seeing what you do with Micallef. I think Micallef is one of the best top-notch cigar manufacturers out there. And I think that you've landed a great position with a great team. And from what I've heard from Dan and Al, you're a great fit for the team.
Yeah, well, again, happy to be here, and thank you for having me on again. It's truly like I feel very honored when people ask me to be on their podcast.
Well, awesome. Yeah, we didn't even have to beg or anything. You were just like, sure.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
So, all right. Well, thank you so much. And if you need anything from us, feel free to reach out at any time.
Oh, fabulous. Likewise.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the interview with Lauren. We know she's going to be very successful over there. And I mean,
dude,
who doesn't love to hang out with someone with the experience in beer and bourbon and cigars?
That type of knowledge and wisdom you wish you could have at that age.
Yeah. Oh, no kidding,
you
right?
wish you could have at that age. Us at that age, we were still old English and then Wild Irish Rose.
Milwaukee's best. The beast. So, but anyway, hope you enjoyed the interview, and we look forward to seeing what she does over at Micallef.
100, man.
And so, anyway, I want to talk to you for a little bit about what you think about smoking a regular cigar versus a box press.
Okay.
Do you have preferences? Like, how do you approach a box press?
If it's box pressed, I have a higher expectation for it, because we know what a regular you get a White Owl that's a regular cigar, roll like a regular cigar. But if they took the time to box press it, it puts it in another level. Okay, I'm looking for something different from it. In smoking a box, I haven't had a box press yet, and I haven't had that many, but the box presses I've smoked have not made me feel like I wasted my time.
Really?
They haven't. No.
See, I've had some that were great, and I've had some that were not.
You try a lot of things.
I do.
I try to stay in a certain realm, I box myself in on certain things, especially if it's new to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to box myself in, and then I'll branch out later on once I get something that, okay, I understand what's good to me. Like, now I'll try others.
Like box press does not automatically mean it's a square cigar.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, even when you get to the square box press, not all of them are the same because some of them have tight, sharp edges, and some of them are very rounded.
Yeah.
And for me, I prefer the rounded.
Okay.
If it's too sharp cut, I don't dig it. It just feels awkward in my hand because I feel like I'm holding something square instead of a cigar.
I'm gonna give you a situation that when We had those Nat Cincos. Now looking at it, it was box pressed.
Those are box pressed.
Yeah, it was box pressed. So I looked at it differently. And then when I smoked it, it didn't disappoint me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a good stick. So looking at, I guess you're talking about you don't judge a book by its cover, but I judged that book by its cover, and it didn't disappoint me.
Here's what I wonder, and I don't know the answer to this, but I'll try to dig into it before next week.
All right.
What is the purpose
of a box press?
Okay. Is it just aesthetics? I mean, I do not know. You know what I mean?
Question.
I mean, why do they do it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And maybe it is just aesthetics. I don't know.
But then that falls into all Vitolas.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, true. Well, on some Vitolas, you get a different cigar.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, look at the Medallia, the Corona Extra versus the Toro.
Yeah. You had an issue with that.
I always said that the extra Corona Extra was a better cigar, but what I learned, it was a completely different cigar.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I get why they do, like the Andalusian Bull you're smoking. There's no reason on earth that someone should roll a cigar that looks like that. But it's a beautiful piece of work.
Looks like
and I can see that's burning very good. So I can already tell you that mine is going to suck. I can already tell
I'm on
you
the top 50%.
You're the 50-50 that won on this one.
I'm telling you, throughout, this is a bad stick. Man.
I can see the ash. It looks good, man. But I don't think it's as good as what I'm smoking.
To you.
To me. Yeah. You. That's the only person that matters.
In your mind.
To me.
In your mind. I don't care what Brian's thinking. To me, it's good.
If you think your cigar is better, it don't have no impact on me.
None whatsoever.
But I know what I like.
I got you, bro. I got you.
But anyway, no, I was just curious about that because, I mean, there are some box brews like the Nat Cinco. Mm-hmm. I like that one. I love the Viva La Vida Club 500. Oh. I love the CAO 770 and 660. I really don't do the 770. That's Big Larry.
He turned around, his eyes popped up, and he looked. He's like, "What?"
Yeah, I do prefer the 660. I have smoked maybe 2 of the 770s, and
let me explain something. Larry said when he smoked a 770, he had nightmares. These nightmares. He tried. It's not nightmares. It's just bad dreams. No, they're nightmares.
I didn't think I was in hell. So, but anyway, yeah, I just curious, and I'm going to do a little research this week and see what I can find out because I'm interested in box press. Like, why make it a box press? The 770, the 660, but if it's because they're looking to be a different aesthetic, I get it.
That's a question to ask Dan. We need his expert. I want to know what Dan feels. The reason why.
All right, I'll reach out.
Certain Micallef sticks are box pressed. Certain sticks are 660. Certain are Toros. The extra Corona. Why? Why are you choosing to put it in that Vitola?
I'm going to get him on the show to answer those questions.
Make him answer. Yeah,
that's right.
Live.
We'll have him on like in the middle of the segment when we can all hear and see him.
Gotcha.
That sounds like a great plan.
Sir.
Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up before we go was I watched a great documentary last night.
Which one was that?
Seed to Smoke.
Is it talking about weed?
No.
It's talking about
cigars.
From seed to, man, it's a million hands to touch that from seed to smoke.
Dude, I thought I knew pretty much the whole process. You need to watch it. It's made by Davidoff.
What platform is it on?
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
I'll send you the link.
All right.
In fact, I'll put the link in the show notes because if you haven't seen it, it's worth your watch. Now, we'll tell you this. I didn't watch it from beginning to end. I skipped ahead every so often because they had like a guide going through step by step in the farm.
Oh, gotcha.
And then they would go back to the office and hear
what they were talking about, which is what you wanted.
I don't know.
You wanted to see the farm? Okay.
I wanted the hands-on experience.
Gotcha.
I don't know what they were talking about in the office. I figure it's about the same as all the uppers that hang out and talk in the office. This ain't worth listening to.
At all.
So, anyway, if you haven't seen that, dude, it was amazing. Dude, all of their plants are hybrids And he explained it like this. And I really didn't like the analogy, but it was kind of sick. But anyway, he said, think
Sick
about
to
this.
you?
Yeah. If you, let's just say that your kids are tobacco plants.
Okay.
How many variances throughout your genealogy,
can pop up?
I mean, so many different things.
Yeah.
He said, but think about it as if you have Adam and Eve, and they have one child, and that one child is a man, and then he hooks up with Eve, and then they have another one, and then
wait.
Right. You get where I'm going on. I didn't really care for the analogy.
Wow.
But his example was we can get it down to where we have 15% Adam and 85% Eve.
That's control.
Right. And
control.
Then he showed how, dude, they have like a little box of soil, probably about 1.5 feet by 3 feet, maybe 2.5. And they take these thousands and thousands of seeds, which are so small you can't even see them. And they put them in a jar of ashes, and they shake these ashes up real good. And then they take those ashes and they pour it into a Folgers coffee can that looks rusted on the outside. But it's got a shaker on one end.
That allows the seeds to come out.
And he shakes that out all in a row.
Throughout that soil.
You know what the ash was for?
What's that?
So they can see. So when the ash shakes out, they can see where they've been when they're doing the seeds. Because if there's nothing else in there but seeds,
breadcrumbs,
you wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah, I got you.
Anyway, it's very interesting. And they showed the way they grow them, they clip them. And when they're growing them, like in the nursery, they keep clipping all the leaves off. Because those leaves are no good.
They want the hybrid leaves, as you said.
No, they want them to be out in the field in the sunshine.
Those leaves they clipped off?
No. The leaves they clipped off are gone.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's definitely worth a watch. And if you decide to watch the whole thing, let me know what they were saying in the office.
Because I didn't want to hear that. But
I didn't care, but it was very educational. If you think you know the steps,
come on, bro.
Dude.
Come on, bro.
I mean, he showed like the bottom 2 leaves are trash.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the ones that get dirty. They get kicked around. It's just not, it's never going to be a cigar leaf.
High on the hog, guys.
Yeah. And then I think he said like maybe the top leaf and the very bottom 2 leaves were trash.
Okay.
Which I don't remember why the top one was, but I just thought the whole documentary was very...
out once it gets to the top.
Maybe so. And then he was showing that, they don't just come through and chop all the leaves off at the same time. They come in and they do the bottom leaves, and then they'll come back later on and do the middle leaves. Because as it ages, what goes up is the new stuff.
Yeah.
So it ages from the bottom up.
Yeah.
And the way they cut them off, and then it showed them like putting them in the pilon piles and heating them up and cooling them down, heating them up. And then the hanging room. It was very cool. You should watch it.
Very educational.
Yeah, very, very. I was impressed. So,
even though you skipped through half of it.
Well, I didn't care nothing about what they're talking about in the office.
So that didn't intrigue me. I just wanted to know what they did, final project.
Right. What? Well, and it goes back and forth. So you got to skip ahead a lot when they're in the office.
So your remote got a lot of work out that day.
Yes. Like, I ain't got time for that.
I don't want to see that. Oh, there you go.
Hey,
leaves.
Before we go, what are you thinking football-wise? We hadn't talked football in several weeks.
Dude, this season is going to amaze me, I believe. And yes, I'm a 49ers fan, but I see other teams. You know a team that I'm really surprised about and think that the AFC needs to pay attention to? Cleveland. Cleveland has gone out and tried to mock what Tampa Bay did last year.
Have they really?
Yeah.
I haven't paid attention.
Now, we know that is not a tried and true, type of formula, because Washington did it when Snyder first came in. He went and got all these old superstar vets and they went what 8-8 that year.
Yeah.
So you just can't go get names and think it's going to do anything because on paper it looks very good, but in process you're like, man, we ain't.
But I tell you what,
games.
as good as Cleveland played last year,
oh yeah,
I don't think you'll see a repeat of what happened in Washington because Washington never had the staff.
No.
They had players.
Yeah, but see, the players were past though. The only team I know that can take past players, and it's only certain ones and make them and get what they had is New England. Because look what they go get those players that they passed their prime and then do like Randy Moss came out.
Cowboys have done that for years.
Get out of here, man! No, please, how did you bring them up?
Cowboys have done that.
And what have y'all
years.
done?
Well, I'm talking about even back when we were good.
When y'all were good, y'all were blessed because of Herschel Walker.
What was the?
You don't want to talk about
what was
that.
the defensive lineman's name that was like crazy? Alonzo Spellman.
Oh yes.
Dude was way past his prime. We brought him in, and he rocked.
Yeah, because we
made it to the Super Bowl because we had Bernie Kosar on the.
Oh yeah, but a quarterback, you want that because you want somebody that has seen everything.
Yeah, when Aikman went down, we thought it was over.
Yeah.
Bernie stepped in, and
he came in. You can say the same thing about the Rams when Warner came in because folks were like, oh man, we done.
Whoa.
Warner had seen everything. He'd been to the USC, NFL, Europe,
yeah.
USFL. He had played freaking
and he stocked
arena ball,
grocery store.
He did it. He had seen everything. So when defensive coordinators was throwing stuff, he said, oh, so and so used to do that. I know how to defeat that. That's what made him great. So with quarterback here, you want. I mean, look at Brady.
Right.
Brady still, because he's seen everything. There's nothing you can throw to him that is something he hasn't seen on one level.
Now, we'll say this, though. Kurt Warner wasn't just somebody.
Oh, no.
He was a stud.
But then he had a squad around him. He had receivers that were just I was mad because that was the 49ers had beat the Rams for 15 years straight until Warner got there. Everything changed.
Warner was a stud, and you think about putting a stud in a team situation with the players that he had.
Falk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt.
Oh,
with Falk, he had somebody that has seen a lot too.
And Falk was the best running back receiver that's ever played the game.
Goodness,
ever.
man, you could
those crossing routes,
dude. You had to stick him in the. You had to fear him at a running back. But then you had this second fear, like, dude, he can run a route, and the linebackers are not going to stay with him.
And if you ain't ready for a screen,
oh, you done. You're done.
Because he's going to run over the safety.
And then what they do, they fake screens to him and throw a screen the other side to hold to Bruce.
Right.
Everybody running over because Falk over here and Bruce over there with two linemen in front of him and one DB.
I think Bruce and Holt were possibly the best tandem of wide receivers to ever play the game together
because they complemented each other. I give the Cowboys their due with Irvin and what's his name,
Alvin Harper.
I give them their due.
They were good, but they weren't that level.
Not that level
because Holt was just as good as Bruce. Alvin was not just as good as Irvin, but he was a great complementary player. Mm-hmm. But those two guys were both number ones on any squad. So
look at Holt left and went to the Ravens and was still number one. You had that with Falk and then Warner, and then you had a coach with Vermeil that was like he surrounded himself with head coaches. Everyone, his assistant coach was a head coach at some level in the NFL, not in college, in the NFL. He went and got the old Cardinals head coach as his offensive line coach.
Let me tell you something about the Cardinals.
Oh, Lord.
They are not going to win. That quarterback
they don't have the squad to put around them yet.
Fitzgerald's
too old.
They're never going to win.
Not?
They're never.
Because they're not going to.
Let me tell you this: as long as Cliff Kingsbury is there, they're never going to win.
At Texas Tech, ain't you?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, the dude never had a winning season at Tech, and he gets a head coaching job for the Cardinals.
It's the Cardinals, man.
Right.
We were glad when they left St. Louis.
I can imagine.
We were glad. When they came and the Cowboys, and you know I'm not a Cowboy, but when the Cowboys played the Cardinals, I cheered for the Cowboys. I was like, man, they had good teams.
I don't ever remember them having good teams.
They did. They had Neil Lomax. Not Darryl Green. It was a Green. I can't remember. He played offense. He was one of the last. Deion was the last, but he was one of the last to play offense and defense at the same time. He was a corner and a receiver. He went over 1,000 yards as a receiver and had like 9 or 10 interceptions that year.
Wow.
Dude was bad. They had a squad, but they just didn't. They never.
Dude was catching the ball no matter which
side he was on. But they had coaches that couldn't pull the best out of everybody at the same time, and that's a problem. I don't like Belichick, but Belichick has a way, even though he cheats, but he has a way to get the best out of all the players he has. And if you're not going to be if you're not going to follow him, he'll get rid of you. He don't care. Look at Brady gone. Folks are like, oh, man, Brady got a couple of more years. He ain't listening to Belichick no more. and then he goes to Tampa Bay and does what?
Boom.
Wins another bowl.
Boom. And, I mean, how's the Buccaneers done in the offseason? They lost people?
No, they ain't lost anybody. But the point is, everybody understand. You know the NFL. You do it 1 year, everybody catches on.
And knowing Brady, I'm going to change because next year you won't recognize
it. You have to.
Because how many times did they do that back in Boston?
Look at what's his name with Baltimore, the quarterback. Rushed for 1,000 yards. Last year, they wasn't playing that game with you. You got to throw this year, Pimpin'.
Right.
You got to throw. Right. And he can throw, but the point is.
But you can't rely on that run, and that's a step up.
Oh, yes.
And he didn't really make it to that step up
Not last year.
He made this year, but last year.
And folks look at it, but that young man in Kansas City, nobody has figured him out yet.
I don't know that they will this year either.
Even though they lost.
I would love to see it come down to a repeat of the same Super Bowl.
And it might.
You know what I mean?
Might.
So those are the two best teams going into the season. I mean, I would even because I can see the Cowboys, if they made it to the Super Bowl, they're going to get whacked. Like whoever they're playing.
This is the thing that got me with that young man. In the Super Bowl, even though they got beat, he still was fighting.
Oh,
this young man was perpendicular.
Right. He's got one toe.
He didn't even have the toe. He was his entire body was in the air and threw it 40 yards.
Yeah.
And if dude had caught it, it'd have been a touchdown. He hit him in the hands with it.
He is an amazing player.
It's going to take a few years.
And that kid, the kid in Arizona is not him.
No, he's a runner. He's a runner.
He's like the guy in Baltimore.
Because they look at him and he's like, well, he's a baseball player, but he doesn't have the acumen that boy in Kansas City had. He uses more baseball than he does football. You look at the way he throws the ball. Some of them throws, he was a shortstop. Some of them are shortstop throws to second.
Dude, he throws left-handed.
Left-handed. Underhanded. 40 yards.
He throws it between the legs.
Behind his back. Remember the one he threw behind his back? What was it, like a 3-yard line he threw it behind his back? Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's a different world now. Brady is, people say, well, Brady, no, Brady's he's at the end of that type of quarterback.
Change subject on you.
Talk to me.
How excited are you about the Summer Olympics?
Dude, did you see that girl from Dallas?
I did.
21 years old. 5'1". 5 foot. That's a short young lady.
Did you see the young man in high school for the 220?
Yes. 200.
Oh, it's 200 meters, not 220 yards.
Yeah. But this is the thing that got me.
That's how you know you're old.
He was amazing, but what she did in the final, she got out the blocks last.
Right.
For the first 30 meters, she went from last to fourth. After that 30 meters, she turned into Carl Lewis.
Oh.
They was chasing her.
Yeah.
They were chasing her at 5'1". See, people used to talk about Usain Bolt. They said that at his height, he shouldn't run as fast as he is. At her height, she shouldn't run as fast as she is. That stuff is done now.
It doesn't matter how tall you are.
If you got the speed,
Unless
And you got the power?
I think that there's probably a limit there.
Yeah, because at 7 foot, you're not going to run that.
If you're 7 foot or 4 foot,
you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it.
That thing where you said, where people told you could be anything you want to be, go ahead and scratch that off the list.
Take off Olympic class sprinter.
Not happening.
Not going to happen.
But you could be an announcer.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. You can be an announcer.
You could do a podcast.
But you cannot sprint and win. You can sprint, but you ain't going to win.
I'm excited about the Olympics.
Oh, yes.
And you know what I found interesting was this is the 2020 Olympics.
Mm-hmm. In 2021.
Right. Now, what are they calling them?
It's still 2021, but in 3 years, we're going to have another one.
But when they have all the signs, are they going to say 2021?
No, it's going to say 2021. Yeah.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah, they had to change
So it's
everything.
not going to say 2020 Olympics.
No.
Okay. Because my wife said, this is the 2020 Olympics.
If they do, somebody's going to get fired. And the next time the television comes on, you won't see that sign again.
Well, I was like, well, that's cool. It's only 3 more years to the next one.
To the next one.
And, dude, how about the gymnast we got? She...
From Texas, too.
Yes.
I got to own up to it.
She is setting the bar so high.
Dude, here's how high she's setting the bar. There are things she are doing that they are penalizing her for because they know no one ever will do them again.
And they're naming moves after her. She's not even done yet.
No.
And they're calling,
That's the Biles. Well, you said the other move was the Biles. Well, this is the new Biles.
This is the Biles 2.
Biles 2.0.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
But, dude, I've seen, and I think in the track and field, though, there's been so many world records broken this go around. And so the Olympics are going to be amazing.
This is the year America takes over the sprinting championship again. Jamaica's run is over.
I didn't think Bolt's records would ever be
eclipsed.
Yeah, ever.
But see, the thing is,
steroids.
No,
I'm just kidding.
He's nowhere near, because you can look at his build.
No, not him.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
old. Yeah,
no, I'm talking about today.
Oh, see, you can't get away with nothing today.
True.
Nothing. You can't even get away with the synthetic stuff today, bro, because they have a test for everything, and if it comes up something an anomaly, they are disqualifying your butt. They just disqualify somebody else. This would be like their third Olympics they can't compete in because they keep getting disqualified because they keep cheating. That's what, just call it the truth. They keep cheating.
Well, they can't get in without cheating.
Oh, no, without cheating. I mean, Ben Johnson had to cheat to beat Carl Lewis.
But you know what? That was a great race.
It was. Yeah, but it was all steroids.
Right. But
if he didn't have the steroids, it wouldn't have been a great race. He'd have been like, Carl Lewis ran away.
My philosophy is, let them all do steroids. Yeah. I want to see the fastest race.
That's the race I want to. Let Carl have been on steroids. Flojo on steroids.
Maybe we can get into the 8s.
For real. Well, they ran a sub 3 mile. A sub 3 mile? They ran a mile in 2 minutes?
Hey, well, because I've been watching the Olympics, I've also gone back and watched some Usain Bolt races. Dude was amazing, man.
6'5".
Yeah.
Nobody.
And, dude,
that height.
Was it me or did 90% of the time, the last 10 yards, he coasted?
Yeah, he coasted.
Because he had it by a mile.
He could have had records. He could have had records that nobody could eclipse.
Right.
But he was winning. He just looked. He lift his hands up and look back at folks. You're not supposed to do that as a sprinter.
I saw a woman run the 400 in, I want to say, 50.90.
Steroids.
No. The record was like 51.23 or something. Yeah. And she did 50.9.
Steroids.
No, this chick was booking.
But see, the way you have to look at something also, training is totally different today than it was. Yes, it was a job for those sprinters, those athletes back then.
But they didn't know what they didn't know.
They didn't know technology and training has advanced to the point where we're going to see a 9.5 or a 9.4 on the men's side in the 100 soon.
Dude, that would be amazing.
That's going to be amazing.
That is flash.
And then it's going to be legal.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Not wind aided, nothing artificial. You're going to see a 9.4, a 9.3. And then think, in like my granddaughter's generation, you may see a 9 flat, 9.1, 9.2. They used to think that a 4.2 or 4.1 was impossible. But then you had Ronaldo Nehemiah. I don't know if you remember him, but he was a high hurdler. He ran a 3.9.
Dude, I watched the women's hurdles.
Mm-hmm. It ain't no game no more.
Dude.
It ain't no game no more. It ain't no game.
This chick from Texas won that one, too.
I say this about track and field.
Why are you all running in the heat
in Texas? That's probably why they can be extraordinary.
Other places, to a regular climate.
Oh, there's no heat. What? I'm from Houston. No humidity either.
What happened, bro?
It's a different world.
Yeah,
and it's a different world because training and technology has allowed. I mean, look, remember
dude,
Rocky?
when we were young, we thought the records we saw would never be broken.
Look at Rocky when he fought Drago. Rocky was still punching meat. What was Drago doing? Everything was technology. He was doing things. His training was totally different from Rocky's. Yeah, we know it was Rocky and Rocky was going to win in the end. But you look at the training he was doing versus the training that Rocky was doing.
Right.
It was totally different.
Technology.
And
what they do with the players now.
Oh, man. Even in the NFL, bro, there's nowhere in the hell you'd have got me in the ice vat. We get in there real quick, jump the hell up out of there. Now they spend like hours in that shit. They go put more ice in there. They do things to their muscles that we never thought could be. Coaches didn't think of that stuff back then.
Right.
Because they realized it's not even technology.
The only time you did stuff like that was when you were injured.
Yeah.
Not on a daily.
It is not an injury thing anymore.
Well, and you think about this, it's just like, even when you're not like, you didn't pull something, it's still recovery for your muscle tissue.
For the muscles. And quicker recovery means quicker ability to gain what you need because you can get back out there now. You can get back out there and perform at a different level, at a higher level because your muscles are recovered quicker. Where with us, you get hurt Friday or Saturday in the game. It's probably Thursday or Friday before you even feel better.
Right.
Now you done missed a couple of days of practice. Now you get hurt Thursday or Friday. It's Saturday or Sunday now. Saturday or Sunday. Sunday evening, they got you in the vat. They doing all these muscle things on you.
You're back on the field
You're back
Tuesday.
at practice at Tuesday.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
It's a different world.
So anyway, guys, at least once every quarter we have to do a sports rant. That was it.
I'm sorry. Let me get off the soapbox.
I know some guys aren't sports fans, and we are.
And they like, listen to Brian. He's going off.
We are sports fans, but we're not the fanatic sports fans. No. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, you wear a 49ers couple of caps. But I mean, I don't even wear a Cowboys cap. I don't wear a Cowboys t-shirt
because you don't want.
I'm embarrassed.
She's like, that's a target.
Well, it's like, no, I'm not wearing one. You know what? You win a Super Bowl, and then I'll think about it. You know what? Just make it to the Super Bowl.
At least we made it two more times than you all have. But the point, it's tied now because y'all have gone 7 times too, isn't it?
Yeah, but ours were back in the 70s and 80s.
90s last.
Yeah.
We were 6-0. Now we're 6-2. I mean 5-0. Now we're 5-2. I hate that.
Hey.
I hate that.
But it's better that you made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, now at least you're as good as we are.
No, we're better than you are.
No, you have the same record.
We know what a 2000 Super Bowl is like.
So the Cowboys have not been during the new millennium.
Man, my stepson is a Cowboys fan.
How?
That's why I said he's 26.
Why?
I'm like,
what
Taurus,
have they done?
I'm like Taurus, you weren't even born the last time they was in the Super Bowl. Now my Bryant, I don't like this either, but he's a Green Bay fan. They've been to and won the Super Bowl.
Now how old is he?
26.
So he's really not even old enough to remember the 90s.
No, he don't remember the Brett Favre days. It's all Rodgers.
I mean, for me, that was the heyday.
Man, Brett Favre was a beast.
But, dude, and his wide receivers were just amazing badasses.
Anybody can throw 7 interceptions and 5 touchdowns.
In a game.
In a game.
Do you remember the Monday night game?
When his dad died?
No. Yeah. But he threw that pass deep. Dude catches it. It bobbles around, and the defender thinks it's no go. He jumps up and runs another 30 yards for a touchdown to win the game on a Monday night game.
And they looking like, dude, you got to follow through. No,
dude,
I didn't think he was going to catch
and
that.
you know what? You know what was amazing during that time of my life with football is Monday night games were always lights out, but you also had Summerall and Madden.
And before that, you had Howard Cosell. He was the perfect voice for that then, man. But Madden, it's the reason he got his own game. Dude. It's kids that know Madden that don't know that he won, was it 2 Super Bowls?
As a coach. Right. With the Raiders.
It was like he was a coach. What? I just thought it was a game. No, he was a coach. Right. And he won 2 Super Bowls.
And for you guys that don't know, when Madden travels from game to game, he takes the bus.
The bus. He does not fly.
He does not fly.
He ain't leaving the ground.
Trivia there for you.
He is not leaving the ground.
How old is he now?
He's 90, almost 80, late 80s, almost 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I never thought he would live that long.
Because he's older than Flores, and Flores is in his late 70s.
Wow.
Yep.
I did not know. Summerall died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pat died.
All right, guys. Well, hey, we want to say thank you again to the Light 'em Up crew for your support.
Light 'em up.
If you would like to become a Patreon member and support the show Cigar Talk, look in the show notes. There's also a link for that. Basically, look in the show notes for everything that we've done, and you'll be able to do whatever you want to do, bro. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this week's show. Until next time.
Keep smoking.
Boom.